Okie dokie. So, you want to learn how to throat sing? I'll teach you what I can. First of all, it might look like I am sort of lazing back, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to be relaxed, trying to keep my shoulders back, and this way, it's of course easier to do if you're standing up and you put your head up. You are able to, to sort of relax your entire body, open up your throat and your diaphragm, and really get out some badass sounds, okay? Um, First, what you want to do when you're trying to throat sing is you want to get your voice all relaxed. You can do a little bit of massaging, pushing your larynx around a little bit to try to loosen it up. Do some of this. Also some of this too around your temples. Next step, this is very important. First you have some garlic, which I don't actually have, some ginger, which I don't actually have, and you put it in your mouth, not at the same time. One can come before the other, it doesn't really matter. But what doing that will do, chewing it up a lot, all the juices get into your throat and your voice, and it actually loosens everything up, makes it a lot easier. I've just found that works for me. Other people say different things. Sometimes people like to just have generally spicy foods, a few dabs of hot sauce. Then you want to have some water, a little bit of water, and you want to put it in your mouth like so. What I was doing is I was putting a little bit of water in my mouth and sort of letting it sit in there while I close my lips and bend my head down. And then I opened slightly, and as I did that, I started to inhale very lightly but deeply. When you want to do that properly, you repeat that for about 3 minutes while taking really deep breaths, from your gut, from your stomach, from your diaphragm. What that does is it sends all this water vapor up from the air going in through the water and pushing out some of the molecules. It sends all this water vapor into your throat and larynx and trachea, and so it moistens it up, loosens it up, and it helps you throat sing better. You want to start by trying to sound kind of like a motor. An even better place to start is thinking about when you cough really deeply sometimes when you're really sick. That's Kargira, the type of throat sing that I'm sort of teaching a westernized version of. Once you do that, once you can sort of get the feeling of the sort of the deep vibrations in this area, you really don't want to have it up here. You want to have it sort of as deep as possible. It's going to get a better sound. It's also going to keep you from blowing out your voice. You want to try to emulate the sound of a motor. That's what I've always found to be the best idea. And you want to just try to get it. Not get it for a particularly long period of time, just get it. So you can get that sound, get that feeling. That's what's really important. That's the hard part about it. Once you do that, you can sort of try to keep it going for longer, sustain it. One thing that I find very useful is supporting, like you would if you were just a normal Western singer. You take your diaphragm and push it in. You want to hold that really tight, and then you take a deep breath that comes out not only from the front but from the sides and from the back. So I'm going to take a deep breath. Notice how I'm pushing from right here, and I'm not keeping it tight in here. What you don't want is this. You don't want that tightness. And not... The key is just to keep doing it over and over until you can get it longer and longer. Also, it's important not to do too much in one sitting, especially when you're beginning, because you don't want to do really improper, dangerous techniques that'll damage your voice for a long period of time. So you can eventually get to a point where you're going from to The next step is to try to control the pitch. Doing the support that I talked about earlier, using that technique will really help you with that. So you can get a nice focused The next step, and for me this was the hardest thing to do, and I find it to be the most fun and interesting thing to do, is playing with the harmonics. You move your mouth into different, what are called formants, which you can find really good diagrams. Actually, if you go on Google and search formant, Formant, or search the same thing on Wikipedia, you'll be able to find good information about formants as well as images of formants. And essentially what you're doing when you're creating different formants is you're moving your lips and your tongue in different ways so that the air moving through your mouth, the pathways change slightly, which will bring out certain overtones, certain harmonics in the overtone series. Again, if you want to sort of understand this a little bit better, you can search overtone series on Wikipedia. There's a good entry there. Pretty much what I find is the best way to do it is just sort of play around. Places to start, trying to use an as in rock and roll, or a yee, like yeah, what's up, in that kind of method. So yee. Also, try to make it very nasally, yee, or at first, because that's going to really help you bring out those harmonics. And something to know: this isn't this isn't really a specific style, traditional style. This is sort of my own style, but I'm trying to teach you what you saw because that seems to me to be what you wanted to do. And you can also work from there. If you know anyone who does traditional style throat singing, you can have them teach you how they get their harmonics. You can try to do something like this. You notice when I finish with that ooh, I eliminate a lot of the high harmonics. That's a technique that's used in Tibetan chant. Just something to keep in mind if you ever just want to get this low, sinister, sonorous sound. Just close like this to eliminate all the high harmonics. Again, harmonics, move your lips and tongue like You heard my voice break there a little bit? That's because I wasn't supporting. That's part of sort of what gives you that long, even, driving, sonorous sound. So you notice how in all of that I have all those whistle tones? See, those are what are really, really important for getting harmonics. Is trying to hear those whistle tones and move your tongue and your lips in different ways to really accentuate them, really bring them out. To be honest with you, it's all about feel. It's all just about feeling where you're going in your throat, feeling what feelings you're associating with what sounds. That's throat singing. That's what I can give you. So, happy throat singing.